We'll start with Comrade Taylor. Hillary, in the corner there.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. My name is Hillary Innocent Taylor Seguia. I am a compassionate human rights activist and a compassionate supporter of the National Unity Platform. Tonight, I painfully came to this event because of the dissatisfaction that I have in our leader of opposition, Mathias Mpuuga. I'm sure beyond doubt you've seen some of the exchanges I've had with you on Twitter, because I'm one person who speaks my mind, because I believe in free speech. And in America, where we are today, the First Amendment is non-negotiable. So we hold our leaders accountable. So as a party that cares about a better Uganda, a new Uganda, we should be holding you accountable. So we don't want you guys to feel in a different way because we are holding you accountable, because it is a constitutional duty. I was very flabbergasted by the actions of the National Unity Platform MPs, led by you, Honorable Mathias Mpuuga, in Parliament, when it came to the voting of the anti-homosexuality bill. We are all oppressed in Uganda, but the moment you categorize oppression and you say that the LGBT community is not oppressed by the autocrat, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, that's where we go wrong. Human rights are inherent. Human rights are non-negotiable. Human rights are not optional. So as leaders, we have to be vocal about human rights. We have to put human rights first in everything we do. But the moment we start playing games, cherry-picking human rights, then it means we are setting a wrong standard. So I'm requesting you, Mathias Mpuuga, because you're going back and deliver the message to all our party members. Let's put human rights first. Because the gay people you're fighting against in Uganda, they are part of us. They voted for our party, National Platform. They're in NRM, they're in DP, they're in all the political parties. So we cannot say that we're going to hate a small population because they're born different or because they're loving different. Love is a human right. You're here today in Washington, D.C., Mathias Mpuuga. Numbers is in New York. Today as I speak to you, you are enjoying the liberty in America because it's the land of the free, which means you are using misinformation, you are using hate, you are using stigma, you are using negative stereotypes against a small population of the LGBTIQA+ community. That is wrong. I'm sure beyond doubt in Parliament, where you are, there are some members of Parliament who have same-sex relationships. There are some members of Parliament who have children who are having same-sex relationships. There are some members of Parliament who have staffers or voters who are having same-sex relationships. So we cannot say that we're going to discriminate people because they're living different. You say the bill is about protecting children, but the name of the bill is called Anti-Homosexuality Bill, not Children's Protection. That was the wrong information you are selling. As a celebrated lawyer, Mpuuga, you have to put human rights first in everything you do. Look at the move of the bill. Honorable Asman Vasaliwa, another celebrated lawyer, and you were busy celebrating this bill. I was asking numbers last time because for me I see that as hypocrisy. You were saying that homosexuals in Uganda are recruiting children. They are getting other people into homosexuality, but there is no evidence. It's hearsay. So today you're in Washington, D.C. You can share with us how many homosexuals have harassed you sexually. I'm sure beyond doubt you've been peaceful, because in this way you are today, it's like the Sodom and Gomorrah of today, the 21st century, because homosexuality here is legalized. Same-sex relationships are legalized. So as Mpuuga, a celebrated lawyer, you should stick to the facts. Stand for human rights. Challenge homophobia in Parliament, because the Speaker of Parliament was using homophobic rhetoric, and none of you challenged her. I don't know if you fear her, but you have to have the courage also. The same way you're telling us to have courage, we need to see that courage in you. Challenge the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Mong, and her deputy, Thomas, so that the bad things are condemned in Parliament. Recently, we saw our reports that Anita Among was, acknowledging that she won't pay back the 500 iron sheets. That alone is abuse of office. I was expecting you, Mathias and Mpuuga, the leader of opposition, to move a motion to impeach Anita Among, but you were silent. Your silence is loud. We can hear it in Boston. We can hear it in the US. That alone is not convincing us. We need to see a vibrant leader of opposition. We don't see that. So at the moment we don't see that, we're going to come and speak up. Because some of us, we cannot be muzzled. We believe freedom of speech is a human right. And we believe free speech protects speech you don't like. It does not protect speech you like. So I'm calling upon you, Mathias and Mpuuga, to stand for human rights. And as I conclude, you talked about restructuring our strategy of lobbying. I agree with you on that. But the challenge we have, we've tried to contact your fellow MPs who are heading these committees to get critical information we need for what these offices in Washington, D.C. and also the lobbying centers, they are shying away. They're not giving us the information. So what do you want us to do? When you're sitting on a mountain of evidence of the junta, today you're telling us that if Muhoozi becomes the president, you will run away from Uganda. So you're saying, in other words, Museveni is better than Muhoozi. That's why you're not running away. Museveni and Muhoozi are problems from the hell. We don't want them. So don't sugarcoat. Museveni has to go. Muhoozi has to go. They are both evil people. So don't say that Muhoozi is worse than Museveni. No. So at times we're wondering whether you guys are just enjoying fringe benefits in Parliament when our rights are being curtailed on by this junta of Museveni. We're sick and tired. We want actions from you, the leaders, because we had hope in you, but the majority of you have disappointed us. We want reforms. There is time for you to change Mpuuga and your leadership. If things are overwhelming you, tell the president to reshuffle the cabinet. We get people who are, willing to go to the front line and fight for the change we want, because we are counting on you. So don't tell us you have small numbers. Majority is not always right. You can be a small group in Parliament and stick to the truth. Right. Yes, but don't just tell us, okay, we're a small number, 57 MPs. That is BS. Let's stick to the facts. Be principled. Last time you voted for, the Speaker of Parliament, you had a chance to abstain, but you're voting for wrong elements. That is flabbergasting. Last time when we were voting, for the bill of anti-homosexuality bill, you had a chance, Mpuuga, to excuse yourself, become absent. Other than the Hansards recording you that Mpuuga, you are supporting that bill that is anti-people. As Ugandans, we want you to pass pro-people legislation. Don't use emotions to pass laws. Because a Uganda we want is a Uganda that is tolerant, a Uganda that is inclusive, a Uganda that leaves no one behind. Now, as I finish, our party has 6 main core values. Inclusivity is one of our core values. So if you are saying that the LGBTIQA+ community should be deprived of their rights, then we are excluding them. That is not inclusion. You're here in America. We are working with gay people. We are studying with gay people. That is not a burden. So let's stand on what is right. Some of us are not going to shy away, because for me, I speak myself, I speak my mind. So when I go on social media platforms, I stand for human rights. I'm not going to discriminate that, gay rights should not be respected in Uganda. Because in Mpuuga, you know it so well that you don't have to be a woman or a feminist to fight for gender equality. You don't have to be a child to fight for children's rights. You don't have to be an animal to fight for animals' rights. You don't have to be disabled to fight for the rights of persons with disabilities. You just have to be a free-thinking individual who believes that we are all born free and equal. So let's go back on our drawing board and revise the positions we're taking as a party to make sure that we lead the change, to make sure that we build fight for a Uganda that is inclusive. Otherwise, we are forgetting the manifesto of NUP. We are forgetting the core values of NUP because inclusivity is our core value. Unless I don't know what inclusivity means, maybe I challenge you, Mpuuga, to define for us what inclusivity means on that core value, so that everyone in this house knows, and also all those who are watching us on the Zoom, they know inclusivity means that, you know, we don't have to respect other people. So for me, I believe that as a party, we made a blunder. Julius Malema challenged all of you, the African leaders who call yourselves Pan-Africanists. He was at the High Commission of South Africa in Pretoria, fighting against the draconian and barbaric anti-homosexuality bill your parliament passed in Mpuuga. Julius Malema, the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighter, EFF. So let's lead by example. Don't fear people who are going to challenge you because you're standing on the truth. Take that political post. If it means losing your political office, as long as you're standing for the truth, that's what we want. So for me, I will stick to truth because there is one type of truth. Truth does not change. So let's lead the change. Let's walk our words. Otherwise, I feel like we're at crossroads with our principles. I want us to move in the straight direction our manifesto stands for, because all the time I look at things, I go back on the drawing board. What does the manifesto say? I reflect on it, I make my analysis or arguments. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Hillary. I'd just like you on social media. Madam Salina.
And I'll use that to respond to the question by Comrade Hillary and Comrade, I think, was it you? Yes, you. You have the same views about how we handle LGBT. Now, comrades, I'm sure most of you were born in Uganda.
No.
And you have lived in Uganda. Uganda is a reality. Not a myth.
100%.
Uganda is a reality. Uganda is an ethnic and cultural melting pot. Okay? And if you're going to do politics there, you need to understand that that's the reality. Uganda is ultra-conservative. You understand that? But gets you what? Tell you what? Whoever has power has the last word. Listen to this. When the police has beaten you the whole day to Palu, the news will be flashed on all national televisions. How the person was beaten badly, then you speak, bruised and bleeding. Then last they will say, police are Gambia. They'll have the police spokesperson speak last. To water down whatever you have been complaining about, to appear as though he had reason to really beat you to Palu. That's how power cascades. Comrades, there's no one going to lead NUP in Kampala. In a community I've described, and I sound a bit territory of that nature. I either remain vague or say I'll protect this community. Let me tell you, if we get power tomorrow in Kampala, we shall define our identity. I cannot vaguely speak to the people of Kampala. I would rather speak vaguely to the people in Washington than those in Kampala. After we passed that bill, I met the British High Commissioner, I met the Danish ambassador, I met the fixers from the US Embassy, and I told them, look, that this is the society we are in. How do you expect me to defend LGBT rights in a community where I cannot even beat my people and speak to them? In an environment where I cannot even speak to a village meeting, I'm not disrupted. You want me to go to Masaka and speak about LGBT rights when I cannot hold a rally in India? Do they understand the concept of rights? For them, first things first. The Honorable Chairman cannot speak to them in Nyendo, and you're telling them to speak about the rights of the gay. They say you are insane. And we fully understand, comedy here, we fully understand the construction of our society. We're not insane. We fully understand what we are up to.
Honorable, I'm sorry to interrupt, but again, you have an option of silence. at least you would say that I excuse myself, not to be judged in a wrong way.
I get you.
And rather remain
I get you. Silence is no option where there's leadership.
But Africa or Uganda has a diversity of cultures.
When were you last in Uganda?
Homosexuality is among our cultures.
When were you last in Uganda?
That is not important, Honorable. Because
It's important.
when you use the time, but I still have relatives I talk to on a daily basis. So nothing has changed. So for us to use culture, to use religion, to use children as an excuse to justify prejudices against the LGBT community.
No, you made your point. Now listen to me. If you want to impact on Ugandan society, you must understand. And you see, I've been doing a lot of training for my young comrades. They've been asking me, how have you been able to keep a constituency for 3 times? And I'm telling them, just look, it's very simple. There's normally, every constituency has owners. Understand the owners of the constituency. Simple and clear. Uganda has owners. Uganda is not owned by everybody. The LGBT can only submit to the majority Ugandan view. Uganda cannot submit to the LGBT. Hope you understand the difference.
I'm sorry to misquote you.
Yeah.
So are you saying, in other words, you care about your political office, not the rights of others?
I care about Uganda.
So do you care about all
I
human rights?
understand English well. Okay?
Do you care about
I'm saying
human rights?
Uganda cannot submit to LGBT as a concept.
No, majority
The
is not
LGBT will submit to Uganda and then they will fit in.
Honorable. Majority is not always right.
No, let me tell you. Comrade Hillary, it's not an exchange. I understood you so well. And you have the right to defend them. I have the right to speak to the people of Uganda whose fortunes I want to change by changing power in Uganda. I am not going to make stupid mistakes because somebody in Washington will misconstrue me. By the way, I speak this way probably more often than you. And I've told them where I stand as a leader in the NUP, and I've told them the party stance as the team leader in Parliament.
Again,
And I've told them.
we shouldn't play the risk card. Because for me, I'm talking about the gay Ugandans, the lesbian Ugandans.
Let me tell you.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
But you have to listen.
Let's not play the risk card.
You see, your right to speak to me, you are not translated to the right to listen to me. I listened to you. You spoke for 10 minutes. I told you.
Listen, let's have a conversation.
You have to listen to me.
Yes,
Do you want me that I didn't understand you?
probably.
Okay, speak. I'll sit down.
Yes, so now to make my point clear, I was saying that it is wrong for us to categorize human rights. It is wrong for us to use excuses of cultures, excuses of children, excuses of religion, and to justify our hate against a small group of people in Uganda simply because they are loving different or they are born different. So, human rights, as I said in the beginning, they are inalienable. The moment you take away some of the rights, the rest are going to suffer. So we should believe that all human rights are for all human beings, no exceptions. Whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're a garbage collector, a doctor, a farmer, a peasant, we have the same equal rights. So as leaders, I expect us to stand for human rights, not to stand for political trades and for political gains and trade gains. So for me, for you to say that you're reflecting the constituents because they're majority, I didn't see anywhere you consulting for your constituents on Twitter, because you always have to on Twitter. Show me only some photos in your constituents when you're consulting your constituents about this issue of the bill, of the anti-homosexuality bill. There was no consultation.
How old are you?
So it means that again does not
Mr.
justify my position.
Mr. Hillary.
About standing for human rights.
Mr. Hillary, sorry for interrupting you guys. I booked this room until 5. It's already 5 o'clock. My recommendation is probably you can continue this conversation with the Honorable if he gives you time outside this room. But I think there's another group coming in here. So since it's already 5.
Can I borrow a minute and conclude this?
Yes, you can conclude. But I think you guys can.
Yeah,
continue
just
that
very briefly.
conversation, and then you can-
Comrade, if
yeah.
you are going to change Uganda, you need to understand Uganda. And I want to invite Comrade here for an open understanding of Uganda. Whoever has power has the last word. How you should understand that? I'm not going to speak from the virtue. You don't educate me about human rights. I know how the cars came. I know how they are, and I'm not going to learn that from here, from this room.
So you want to lecture us and take your
Okay, I'm not going to listen to your lecture either.
It's like you're listening, you're lecturing.
Can I tell you? You are not useful to our struggle with that kind of
I
thinking.
respect you as a leader.
Certainly, and I have seen you had disrespectful comments, and I cannot take it. You have your view, I have my view.
Yes.
Mr. Hillary,
Do you want to respect my view as well?
That's the opinion.
I agree.
I cannot become. I understand. But I'm not going to be lectured.
Now, I want to assure Comrade Hillary that I am my level of understanding things. I don't take lectures or anything.
For the position he took.
Comrade, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much.
Special thank you to everyone who was able to join us. I will finish this tomorrow actually, and we still have until Saturday we have a picnic where we will rejoin